Welcome to the Ardan Labs podcast. Our special guest today, I can't believe it. If you're on YouTube, you can see it for yourself. It's Mystica. Woo! Look at that. You like that intro, right, Mystica? Because that's how excited I am to be able to talk to you. This is cool. Okay, Mystica, for the few people on the planet who don't know who you are, give everybody the 2-minute spiel on what you're doing today.
So I'm Mystica and I work as a full stack software developer. I work on web as well as the mobile, and I do some AI engineering too. So I've been working as a developer for like almost 4 years now at a company called Translate Live.
Oh, wait,
It's
whoa, whoa,
based
whoa, whoa,
in.
whoa, 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 whoa! Don't tell me this yet. This podcast is about getting to that information. So if you tell me that too much right now, I'm going to be. Well, you could tell me where you're working. So where are you working right now? I'm sorry, I just don't
So
want to go
I
too far.
work, yeah. So I work at a company called Translate Live.
Translate
It's on
live
Florida.
in Florida. Where in Florida? Because I'm in Miami,
In Clearwater.
in Clearwater. Okay. And where are you living right now? You're not in Florida, right?
So I live in India. I live in a small town
Nice.
in
Where?
India.
So I've been to Goa, Pune, and Bangalore. So if I was in any of those cities, which one is the closest? None of them.
Bangalore. Yeah.
Bangalore.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bangalore.
Okay. All right. Nice. I'll be honest, I like Pune the best out of those three. I don't know if you've been to all those cities, but
No, I've only
Pune,
been to Bangalore.
okay. All right, cool. So you're a full stack engineer. You're doing AI stuff. You've got obviously a remote contract with a company in Clearwater, Florida, and you've been doing this professionally now for 4 years. That's where we're at. Okay, so we're going to talk about how you got here. This is what this whole podcast is about. That's why I sort of interrupted you real quick. I didn't want you to share too much, but that was
Yeah,
perfect. Perfect. Okay. So, a couple of questions to sort of start. One, you got to clear your mind. Don't think too hard on this one. Okay, clear your mind. Um, I want you to share with me the first memory you have of working on a computer. The very sort of first memory that pops in your
yeah.
head.
Well, I think back in 2013. Yeah. So I don't have any computer at home. So my brother was studying computer science, so he came back for a vacation, and I grabbed his PC and be like I was playing the Vice City and the San Andreas all day. So that was my first experience working with PC, and that is what actually motivated me to go for software.
So, a couple things there. How old were you? Do you remember kind of roughly how old you were?
Yeah, 13. Yeah, I was 13
You're
at that
13.
time.
And your brother must love you for to have
Yeah.
him allow you to work on his laptop. I mean, that's real. Because I don't know many brothers that would have said, "Here, work on this laptop all day," even though I need it for school and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a vacation, so he didn't mind it too much.
How much older is your brother? If you were like 13 at the
Um,
time, I guess he was 18,
he was
19.
18. Yeah, he was 18 at that time.
Yeah, nice. So next question, and I have to age you a little bit because it's part of the timeline here. So what year did you graduate from your high school? Like that year just before university.
Yeah, so it was 2017. I graduated the high school.
Okay, so that's just about like 8 years ago. That's it. 8 years
Yeah,
ago, you were in high school.
yeah,
Isn't that crazy to think? 8 years ago, you were in high school. That's insane.
yeah, yeah,
Time's
yeah.
flying. I was in high school. I graduated high school in 1987, Mystica, just to show you how old I am. Right? That sounds even crazier. It's even crazier to say I was born in the 60s. Like sometimes even today, my brain just can't comprehend that fact right there, right? So, okay. So in 2017, you are basically 17, 18 years old. So I, I, I like to sort of start the journey in high school. So what sort of things were you interested in when you were in high school? What was sort of taking up the majority of your time?
I would say sports. I wasn't much into academics, and I was a pretty average student. And most of the time, I was on the track and field doing sports and doing I do javelin throw as well as the throw ball. It is a team sport, so I like throwing stuff back at high
Wow. So
school.
you weren't sprinting around the track. You were doing all
Throwing,
the javelin throw, and you were doing the what do they call that? The heavy ball too. The I was in track and
shot
field too, and I can't remember the damn name. The shot put. Yeah, yeah.
shot put.
Were you doing
Yeah.
shot put too?
I
Oh
wasn't doing
man,
shot
I was
put.
so tiny in high school. You weren't doing shot put, just throwing javelins.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. What else do you throw in track and field other than a javelin?
Um, well, another
Nice.
one
So
is
you
a
didn't do
throw
any
ball.
racing, just the javelin?
Yeah, so I tried racing, but I wasn't much into sprinting. But throw ball and javelin is my kind of sport.
Throw ball. That the throw ball isn't the shot put. That's something. That's not like the hammer
I,
swing or anything like that.
yeah, so
Throw
it is
ball.
a team sport.
I don't know. I'll have
It
to
is a
look that
team
up.
sport. Yeah, it is a team sport. It's fairly popular in India among girls, and there is like it's similar to the volleyball, but
Yeah, let me see.
of instead of like throwing star, you have to like catch the ball and throw. So that's what the throw ball is about.
Oh, okay. I'm looking this up now because I don't know if I've ever seen it. Like volleyball, it's rooted in. Ah, interesting. I don't know why I've never seen this. And then you know what's funny? I look up images for throw ball, and right next to the throw ball images is somebody throwing a javelin. So
Yeah.
I guess they're somehow connected in some way.
Yeah,
Wow.
the both involves a lot of force, so you have to, yeah, in throw ball you have to like throw the ball very forcefully to the fact that other people can't able to touch touch the ball.
Yeah.
And in
So
terms of
so
javelin, it's similar.
you'd be a great dodgeball player now, right? Like you should have moved to dodgeball. Yeah, like there's professional dodgeball in the United States. You got to look at the ESPN, the Ocho. I'd be afraid to have you on the other side as a collegiate. Are you collegiate? You didn't play that in college. We'll talk about college in a second. But do you remember like your best distance for the javelin? I tried to throw a javelin one time. It was not pretty.
So my best personal best is 30 meters. That's it. 30
13
meters.
meters.
30,
So
1, 0,
13.
30. 30.
Wow. 30 meters.
Yeah, yeah.
Like oh my God, 30 meters. That's like, you're dangerous, man. 30 meters. That's pretty far. Like I have some hunting land for like deer, and we'll use our bows and arrows at like 30 meters. And that's sort of a tough shot. So, I mean, I know what like 30 meters kind of looks like. So that's really wild, man. Well, maybe I can't use my bow and arrow at 30 meters. That's pretty far. That's almost like 100 feet, you know? Oh, wow. I don't know. All I know is that's pretty far. That's impressive. Did that let you win a medal?
Yeah, so I went up to like a state level and then I pretty much have like a shoulder injury. So I had to give up the sports. So that was my end of
Oh,
sports journey. Yeah.
the damn shoulder. I've had so many friends that, like, I had a friend that was in professional baseball. He was a pitcher, and the shoulder went out, and that was it. Sort of ends. But you started throwing that javelin earlier than high school, or like you just show up to track
Um,
and field one day, and you're like, that looks cool.
yeah, yeah. Basically, like, yeah, I didn't know I was throwing. I was good at throwing stuff until I was like 15, and my coach actually, I was managed to own the tournament without any helps, without any much training. So my coach saw it, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll train you." And pretty much, I was on the journey for like 3 years. I was doing trainings and stuff for 3 years.
That's cool. I have a niece who's like, I don't know, 12, 13. I guess she's like in junior high, right before high school. And they started teaching her how to do the pole vaulting. And I thought that was crazy. I didn't think she'd be heavy enough to bend the pole. They had the pole vaulting when you were in high school too, right? Ever try the pole vault?
Oh no, I don't want to
That's scary, isn't
break
it?
bones.
I
Yeah.
tried it one time. I wasn't heavy enough to bend the pole to even like get it to spring me up in the air, but I don't know my little niece is doing that, so it's wild. All right, so you're into track, you're into the javelin from a study perspective. Like, what were your favorite subjects at the time?
So it was computer science. So that I took the computer science track at high school, and I was into computers and mathematics more. So that's a thing, and yeah, that's what I really like.
When you say track in high school, I mean, I'm sure you still had to take your language classes and your history classes and right, but like, what were the things they were teaching you in high school around the computer science? Was it programming? What was it?
It was really like a basic introduction to the computers, and we did a little bit of C++, but not really much. So it was like more of like an introduction to the computers rather than going deep dive into the computers. Just enough to know how to work on a computer. That's about it.
But now, when your brother goes back to university, do you have a computer
Yeah,
at home?
yeah.
Your parents got you a computer at home at some point. So,
Yeah, so I got my first computer at college, so I didn't have any. So I used to work on the school's computer.
all right, but when you went home, you didn't have anything to sort of hack on. You had to
No,
wait till you were in school. Did you ever like
yeah.
sneak in the lab and work on stuff? Did they ever kick you
Yeah,
out of the lab because they're like, "Go to class, Mystica. You can't be in the lab."
yeah, a couple of times. But it was more of like what to do with the computers. What are the things that I can able to do with the computers rather than
Nice.
finishing up the lab works pretty late and things like that.
So I think I remember in India that you have to take this big national test, right, in order to determine where you go in university. So you have to really spend time studying for that. Were you worried about that test? That test sort of concern you?
Not really. I wasn't much into academics. I was pretty average at school, and my parents didn't pressure me much. I was on a very small town in India, so I didn't have much pressure like the other kids. So I was doing my thing, and I was managed to get into a decent engineering college. It wasn't a top school, but yeah, I managed to get into a good college
But the plan
after
was
giving.
always to go to college, right? The plan was always to go to
Yeah.
college after high school. Was the college you ended up going to in or near your small town, or this was the first time you had to sort
Um,
of live on your own?
so it was like 2 to 3 hours away from me. So I lived near my campus. So I had to move away from my hometown to be
Okay,
there.
but come on, you got to be excited about that, right? You finally like, all
Yeah.
right, you're 17, maybe 18. You finally get to leave home. You're gonna be on your own. The college was like what you said was 2 or 3 hours away by car from your
Yeah.
small town.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. So you got into the engineering school, which is cool. So your goal the whole time was to do the computer science. Were you more interested in the programming side of things or like the ops side of things?
So I was actually choose software because I thought that's how the games are made, and basically what software developers do is make games. So that's what my thinking was. I get to work on the cool stuff, but turns out that it wasn't the case. So yeah, I was more interested into software kind of stuff.
So 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 yeah, because the first sort of year at university is sort of an awakening, right? Because they're giving you the basic classes, their data structure classes. For some people, super boring classes. Like, what was your in the 4 years you were in college, like what was your favorite class you took, and which one was like your least favorite from the computer science point of view?
So my favorite subject was how to be Java. So that and my least favorite how to be with anything that has to do with hardware, basically digital or microprocessor, those kind of stuff. I'm pretty allergic to it. And in terms of Java, yeah, in
I
terms of
love that.
Java,
I'm allergic to it.
I was more into that was a class where we had able to create the UIs and stuff. So basically, in first and second year, we are working more with the terminal, and on the Java class, we are more into like building the desktop application. I can able to make a exe and send that to my friend, and they can able to view it too. So that was my first aha moment when I was working on Java project. So that was my favorite language. And for the microprocessor, I'm not that much into it. Although I wish I could have learned it good, but yeah, I was bad at it.
You and I are exactly the same. I remember in college those digital classes with the breadboards and connecting wires. My brain just wasn't ready for that at the time. Like, really wasn't ready. I wish it was, right? I'm with you. Like, I wish I could really comprehend all that stuff. I probably could today, but now I don't want to go back to school. So um, I'm with you 100%. I loved the programming. I love the creativity, the freedom. I love that if you make a mistake, you can just hit delete and start over. That's like the best part. Um, but was your school just pure engineering, or did you also have like some liberal art studies that
It
you
was
had to
more
also take?
engineering, only engineering. So you have a lot of departments, like you can go for electronics or civil or mechanical or computer science, those kind of things.
So no philosophy classes, psychology classes, anthropology, like
No.
none of that. Wow. Are you happy about that? Like, I like in the States that even if you're going to get a bachelor's of science, there's still some liberal art class component to it. I think I like that, and I went for computer science too, but I still remember to this day an anthropology and a philosophy class that I loved. Like, I'm so happy I took it. Do you feel like you missed that, or you're glad you didn't have to do any of that?
No, I wish I had a different perspective from the other department, from the liberal arts, but it wasn't the case. So, but we get to choose the subjects from a different departments. So I can go and work on any, I can work on any, I can choose for any subjects in mechanical or civil, those kind of things. But yeah, art was not there. Although I wish it.
So usually it's been my experience with college, you end up in 1 year, usually maybe it's your third year, maybe it's your fourth year. There's some class that has a really big project that you sort of have to do. It's usually pretty big, pretty technical. Do you remember any projects like that that you had to sort of work on that felt overwhelming at the time you were there, and you ended up getting it done?
Yeah, so it had to be with Node.js project. I was working on a project for the web dev, and I have a pretty limited internet connection at that time. And I thought a lot of things are not possible because I was working on this satellite tracker project that you can able to track the International Space Station where it is, and you can able to like show it on the map. And other one is it's a component of lot of many projects coupled into one. So I have that was the first time I was trying out the web devs kind of thing. So I kind of struggled to actually make a progress, but once it's completed, I was a lot of things have been learned. So that was my one of the interesting projects.
I guess the location of the space station is public data. There must have been some NASA APIs that gave you that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a cool idea. When people are like asking me about learning programming, and I'm always like, you got to have a project. I'm going to now
Mm,
say that. Okay, build me a a back end that pulls the data for the location of the space station, and then build a front end that can consume that and sort of plot it on. What a great sort of project that actually is, right? Now, if I asked you to do that today, you'd be like, no problem. I'll knock that out in an hour.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Talk to me, talk to me a little bit about, see, what I find fascinating is you left home, you went to school, right? It's a whole new sort of experience. Talk to me about two things, right? So one, you got to find a place to live. I don't know, does the university give you sort of a
Yeah,
place to, because the university is free, right? You don't have to pay for university,
yeah. So
right?
I studied in a private university, so I had to pay. So
Oh, you had to
if you
pay.
study
Okay.
in a public university, you can get it for free. But I wasn't much into. I actually lost a sports scholarship, so I had to pay.
Okay. And then did your parents sort of help pay, or you had to get a job to get through all
Um,
that?
yeah, my parents helped me. So they both are teachers, so they helped me a little.
That's nice. But and then I'm guessing a little you had to work also while you're in school. Did you work at all?
No, I didn't do any work. I stayed in a college campus itself, so it's a hostel. So I stayed in the college hostel, and pretty much all in India, all people have to do is study for 4 years.
How is it in the hostel? I mean, when I think hostel, which I've never stayed in one, I've had a lot of friends that have stayed in them. I've never stayed in one, but I just think of like a really busy place of more people than there should be in the building, all sort of
Uh, yeah,
sleeping and
so
living
the
together. It feels like
college,
chaos to me.
so it's college dorm is called hostel in India. We call that a college hostel. So it's basically a college
Oh,
dorms. So it's more of an
okay.
Indian
So you
English.
got a
Yeah.
room. Okay. So you had a room. You had how many roommates? One roommate?
So four roommates I had.
Okay. No, that's fair. Okay. So it's a typical college dorm sort of experience. That's not like, yeah, but use the word hostel, but it's not like that traditional word, but
Yeah,
that's what you
yeah,
call it.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting. That's the first time I've heard that. Okay. So that's all right. So here's a fun question. My stepdaughter is going to start university in the fall. All right. I manage 7 kids, Mystica. Okay. So 3 of them, the numbers 1, 2, and 3 already went to university and graduated. But each one of them, their first roommate, their freshman year, were nightmares. Nightmares. And I'm trying to prepare number 6 for the potential of being assigned a roommate that's going to be a nightmare. We all pray that it doesn't happen, but uh, the probability is sort of high. So I'm just sort of curious how that adjustment was for you that first year. You have to room with people you don't know. Did you get lucky? Did you all get along? Were there problems?
Yeah, pretty much. I stayed in the hostel. I stayed in the dorm for like 4 years, and pretty much I was able to get along with everyone that I was stayed luckily. So there, yeah. So what they do is they actually have like a slot like system. What they do is that you won't get to stay with your classmates. You get to be staying with the people who are studying in a different departments. So you get to know a lot of people by doing this, by having this. So
So
I was
they
lucky.
do that on purpose. Oh, so the people that you're in class with aren't really the ones that you're living with. In
Yeah,
other words,
yeah.
no, that's kind of cool. Now it can't be all work and no play, Mystica. So I mean, I to me, university, and I'm trying to tell this to number 6. Like half of it is the studies, and obviously you got to do well, but the other half is all the social interactions, the parties, the stuff. I mean, I'm hoping to hear you say that you had some of that in university as well.
So yeah, so I studied in more of a conservative university. So it wasn't much of a party and those kind of lifestyle that you get. So yeah, but I really had a great time with the people.
Awesome. So when you're about to graduate, I would say it's now 2021, 4 years. Is it a
Yeah,
4 year I can't remember. So
yeah.
it's now 2021. You're like 21 years old. You're about to graduate university. What are you thinking? Are you thinking more school? Actually, did you have any internships or did you do any sort of industry work while you were in university?
So I didn't do any internship, although I tried to do, but I wasn't able to get it because of the COVID hits. I spent last year at final year at my college, basically at home. So that was the first time the
Oh, yeah.
pandemic hits.
COVID thing hits in
Yeah.
20. So your last, yeah. So that sort of last year and a half, everything shifted to remote. So you were doing that for the, oh, I forgot about that. How did that describe a little bit how that must have felt? Like, was that good for you being remote? Did you like really miss being on school? And how did your sort of grades, were they better or worse? Like, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I would say that really changed the perspective on that I view tech because I get more active on social media and see what other people are learning. And I was able to get more time to do stuff on my own terms rather than going attending the classes. So it has a pretty much net positive effect on me I get to learn a lot of things doing interview preps at my own time and things like that. So it was good for me.
So what like, I don't know enough about myself in this situation, but because I always had in classroom study, and
Mm,
I feel like I always needed that to stay focused because I could easily drift and get distracted if things aren't moving at a given pace, right? But when you got the teacher in front of you, you don't want to be disrespectful. So I don't know if I could ever really do a full sort of university track remote. uh,
mm.
you had to make that transition, right? Because you hadn't been doing remote prior to COVID. So was that an easy transition for you? Were you able to do that?
So yeah, the sessions were all like recorded and the sessions were like all live classes and I had to jump from classes to classes online, but I was able to make it with my friends and we shared notes and stuff to keep in touch. We have a call at the end of the day to share notes and stuff, what happened and for the exams too, we tend to get in touch. So that's what really helped me to stay on track. I wasn't much very active for the live classes, but yeah, you have the syllabus and you can learn stuff online too. So that was
So
helped me.
here's something that's also interesting that I honestly just recently learned a few months ago, that because we're going to be at Ardan Labs, we're going to start offering these exams, certification exams. And the site that we're using or we've integrated with has this concept of a proctored exam. So I asked the two high school kids that I got, or junior high and high school kids, about when you take an exam at school on the computer, is it proctored? And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, this is a whole new thing for me, right? So they got to keep their eyes straight. The camera's checking on them. If they do anything that the camera can pick up as suspicious, they sort of fail. And I started seeing online people using like petroleum jelly on the camera to help like trick it and stuff. So I mean, there's a will, there's a way, right? But you suddenly had to start doing proctored exams too, right? Like for these, did they, yeah, like talk to me a little bit about that because I've never had to take one. I can't imagine that my brain would stay focused knowing that I'm being watched, like every little hand movement, eye movement. I don't know.
So at my college, they did an interesting thing. It wasn't like it wasn't like that. It was like we'll be having like 20 to 25 students will be on a same meeting as of the lecturer or professor, and we have to focus our camera and start writing the exams on paper. So it was like, and then after like 3 hours we have to like scan the paper and send them within few minutes. So that was the process that they did because, yeah, like you said, we were able to find a way to cheat if it was all online without anyone seeing us. So that was a way that they came up with. It was pretty, yeah, it was much okay because it was much okay to beat the system. It wasn't much okay to deal with the cheating stuff. But
Here at Ardan Labs, we believe in empowering companies to reach their full potential through innovative technology solutions. Trusted by small startups and Fortune 500 companies alike, we specialize in high-performance software consulting, training, staffing, development, and now AI. With over 14 years of experience, Ardan Labs has trained over 30,000 engineers and served over 1,000 companies worldwide. Whether you're mastering Go, Rust, Kubernetes, Terraform, or blockchain, we're your strategic partner for performance-grade solutions. Let's elevate your tech journey together. Reach out to Ardan Labs today.
So the camera was pointed to the paper where you were
yeah,
writing,
so
so they
the
could see your hands and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah, so pretty much that's about it. But people
with
do
like a
find
wider
way to
view.
cheat. Yeah, so you have to like focus your camera as well as yourself. Your paper and the camera have to be on track. If you look at somewhere on the top, they will call you out. That's how they did
Uh,
it.
See, that to me is like I have a small form of Tourette's, and I know my brain would just itch to look up because you're like this, because you're telling me I'm not allowed to. I,
Yeah.
I, the stress that I would be under having to do something like that is like immense, especially if I didn't have any practice, sort of doing it all through school. But were you stressed out at all, or you're like, whatever, I don't really care.
A little bit stressed out, but it was like only actually they actually promoted us by skipping a semester. So everyone got promoted to a new semester because of the COVID, and I only had to do this for only one semester. So it wasn't a much of pain.
Mm.
A lot of people have a different reaction to it.
Yeah, you were on the tail end of it, so but imagine you had to start university that way. That would have really,
Wow, I don't think I
yeah,
could.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? I mean, you do what you have to do. I think you could have, but knowing that you only had to do like really your last semester like that isn't bad, I guess. But that goes back to the internship question. You didn't really get an opportunity to get into the workforce. You're now graduating. Was the idea was to stay in this town where the university was? And oh, actually, you're gone already. You never went back to the university, right? You graduated remotely from home in a small little town. So, what's the next step? Is it I'm just going to continue education, or I want to try to get a job?
So I was more of a job, like looking for a job and be yeah start working. And maybe I had a thought of going for the masters, but yeah, since I got the remote job, it wasn't a much of an issue that I get to learn things on my own.
So now I'm super curious. All town in India, you've graduated. We're coming at the end of sort of COVID here. What is your strategy to find a job? Because now it's 2021 and we're about to enter a horrific time period of 22 wasn't bad, but 23 was when the whole bottom sort of fell out in hiring. And you don't know that's coming just yet, but sort of what is your strategy for finding a job?
So yeah, it was more of like straightly applying via LinkedIn or anything that I can find. And I was doing some part time as a freelance technical writer and things like that. I was trying to get anything to get an experience, and I was reached out by a friend that I know for a few years. So before Twitter, I was very much active on a social media called Google Plus. I don't know if you
I
remember it.
remember Google Plus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I
I
remember
was
Google Plus.
pretty much active on Google Plus since I was at high school, and that I there I get to engage with the people who are in tech. and I kept in touch with them. And one day, a friend of mine reached out and asked whether you were looking for a job or something. Do you want to like work with me at our company? And I said, yeah, why not? Because I was really trying to find my first job, and that's where I started applying for the job that I have right now. So I got
It's,
my job via the referral.
what year was that? What year did you get
So
that
I
job?
was on August 2021. 2021.
August 21. So, how many months out of university were you when you got that job?
Um, yeah, so I graduated in April 2021, and then I have this massive break before.
That's not
Yeah,
bad.
I was
Four
doing
months.
some. Yeah, I mean, still, it's a big thing. In India, you have to like work after
That's
once you
amazing.
graduate, you have to work.
The networking that you had done since high school on Google Plus basically was the vehicle for you to get this job that you got after you graduated. That's absolutely both amazing and interesting, right? And I try to tell people all the time. I was just in the Czech Republic at a Go conference, and there were so many people that didn't have X accounts, right? Where there's a large tech community. That's where I saw you. I think on Tech or X or
Yeah,
Blue Sky. I'm on both of them.
that's.
So I don't remember which one, but um, right. And so that platform is why we're even talking, right? Like building a
Mm,
network out there of people is so important. And there were so many people, both young and I'm not going to say old because I'm old, but right, it's been in the industry for more than 5 years, that didn't have any sort of social media presence, and it was just mind blowing to me because uh, I don't know how you build a network of people for when that moment comes that you could sort of reach out. It's so hard to get the job, but if you know somebody on the inside like you did, right, it becomes 10,000 times sort of easier. But you didn't really know this person physically, right? This was somebody
mm,
that you built a long-term relationship online. They felt like they knew you well enough to bring
yeah,
you in, right?
yeah.
That's amazing. You must have cried when they shut down the Google Plus. You must have
Yeah,
cried,
like I
right?
built a lot of, I still have friends from all over the world. Still, I have it in contact with. So that was really helpful.
What platform did you move to though from Google Plus? Like you and all your friends, you
So,
must have had to.
yeah, so there was a platform called Mevi. It was more of a social media site as replacement to the Facebook. So the people from Google Plus migrated off to the Mevi, and that's where I kept in contact with a lot of people there.
So I just looked it up because I spent almost little to no time on Google Plus at the time because I can't handle more than one social media account. Actually, the fact that I got to be on both Blue Sky and X is already killing me, right? But the Google Plus shut down in 2019. That's what it's saying, right? And so this is like 2021. So this person is somebody that you met on sort of Google Plus, but this interaction you had couldn't have been on Google Plus anymore. So you were on this other platform that you're talking about. But what was the name of that platform again?
Mevi, MEWW.
MEWE. Okay, I've never heard of MeWe. I just brought it up on my browser, and that's still around. MeV, a safe space for every voice. With the wow, is this something that's used by more people, say in Asia or that part of the world? Because I've
Yeah.
never seen this before.
Um, Yes, it's not like that, but the people, I have a lot of communities. It sounds like an alternative to the Google Plus at that time, and a lot of people migrated off there. And there you have a communities, and there you have similar features as of Google Plus. And I don't know much people have migrated. Yeah.
No, because I mean, there's no reason for me to have heard it, but I've never heard of that one. But, but you and I reached out. Which platform did I reach out to you on? Was it X or the Blue Sky?
X. Yeah. Yeah, it's
X.
an
Yeah, yeah, I
X.
see. Okay, okay. What? When did you join X. Was that you joined April 2020? Okay. So right around the time that Google Plus was gone, that's when
Mm,
you also joined X. So you're basically living on those two platforms, the MeWe and the sort of the X platform. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But what I love about the story, um, and look, and at this point, even you have almost 3,000 people sort of following you. I mean, that's a great sort of network to have, right? That's 3,000 people, mostly in tech, where, um, yeah, no, it's awesome to be able to do
yeah, I
that.
get to do some part-time work too via the Twitter. People approach me to do the part-time work as a developer for their products and stuff. I worked on a couple of gigs by this way too.
So so it's 4 months after you graduate. Your social network has helped you land this job. This is the remote job in Clearwater. What was the name of the company again?
Translate Live.
Translate Live. I want to look that up. Translatelive.com. Translate tools for. Tell me a little bit about what So I'm on the website right now. Is this a company that's trying to help at the schooling level? Is it for professional developers?
So it is an app-based product. We work on a product called ILA, which is Instant Language Assistant, and you can able to communicate with lots of. You can able to communicate with a group of people in a room by translation. You can talk in one languages and you can hear it in another languages. It's more of a translation helping tool. So.
Is it real time?
That is,
Where
yeah, it is real time.
it's real time. So this is the beginnings of the Babel fish in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where they put the fish in your ear, and suddenly you can translate any language. Like this is the beginnings of that. How does it work? Like I'm assuming you need a pretty powerful internet connection, um, and that's connecting to your servers.
Yeah, so it works on real time, so you can able to like have a room of 100 or 200 people. You can communicate with all of them by using like a broadcast
Wow,
model, and you can talk to one people, one group, or things like that.
wow. I
It's
I have this
pretty
beautiful little
exciting
pocket
product.
translator. No, I got this really beautiful, paid like $200 for it. It's a pocket translator. It has to be connected to the internet, but it speaks perfect, like all the other languages. Anytime I play it for somebody, they're like, "That's an amazing. The diction is right, the accents are right, and all this sort of languages." I'm assuming you're at the same level in terms of it's like makes Google Translate look horrible is what it does. It makes Google Translate look like kid stuff.
Yeah.
But what aspect of the product do you work on?
So I work on mostly front end and the back end a little. So I work on the UI and the mobile portion of it. So we use like a capacitor, an Ionic, an Angular stack for the front end. So I work on those, and I work and the Node.js for the back end. So I work on
So you
Node.js.
got a Node back end, and you have and then the front end is say that again. The front end is using like JavaScript mobile client
Yeah.
libraries, or okay.
So it's a capacitor. So you can turn
Yeah, I'm not
your,
a front end dev, Mystica, so this is all new tech
yeah,
for me.
sure. Yeah, you can able to like
Capacitor.
convert your web app into the native Android or iOS app by using the capacitor.
I see it. Capacitor JS. I'm learning all new tech today on this show. Cross-platform native runtime for web apps. Wow. I'm just super curious on the translation side. Are you using what APIs are you using on the back end, if you're allowed to share that, to do I mean, I guess you got to go from speech to text and then text to speech to do those sort of translations, and that has to be super fast. So, are you running your own AI models for that kind of stuff? Is that how you have your own hosted?
Yeah, yeah. So we have a homegrown AI models as well as you can. It's vendor agnostic,
Uh,
so you can go for any vendor that you like. if you
But
want to opt
it's
in for
all,
that.
but you've built your own sort of specific AI models. We'll just models to do these sort of translations at the level. You've trained, so these models were trained by, are you working on any of that stuff too? You're working on the AI
Um,
training stuff?
so I work on the front end part of the AI. So I was working on more of a integration and doing integration with an application, those things. I don't work on the specific training stuff yet.
But you have your own data scientists, machine learning people that know how to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So that's like, that's where the gold is, right? In those models. That's where you sort of win or lose the game there and how fast they can run. Are they, all that stuff's running in Amazon too? Like, is that where your platform is?
I don't I don't
You
know
don't
if I
know
can
on the
able to
offsite.
say that.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'm just curious. Remember, I'm a software dev. I get this, and
Mm-mm-mm.
I work with a company called Prediction Guard where we're doing like model hosting and stuff. So I'm always interested where, like, what cloud people are running this stuff in with like
Mm.
hardware that's available. You know, stuff is so expensive that trying to find ways to get the performance without it costing you 40,000 a month is sort of interesting to me too. So that's really cool. So from a product perspective, right? I went on the website. I kind of saw what's going on there. Um, like, what are the, if you can share that too? Like, I'm kind of curious. So the product today is basically a mobile app. I can put it on the desk. I can have. I imagine it integrates with some other hardware too. If I'm going to have a room of 100 people in there, so maybe there's some special devices that you sell too with this just being on
Yes.
mobile.
Yeah, so there is a two application. There is a two way of having the app. So one is an Android app or iOS that you can install on your computer, and other one is you can opt in for the Pro version that we share. Like it's called Isla Pro. So you can buy it from our salesperson, and you can able to use it. And it also works on mobile browser too. So the cross-platform is pretty handy to have all these things.
Man, it's really wild. Are you able to? Yeah, that's really wild. And this company's out of, are all the devs coming from India, or you sort of got
I'm
also
the
mixed
only
time zones?
one. Yeah,
You're the
I'm
only
the
one in
only
India.
one.
But your friend, oh, so your friend wasn't from India. Your friend was from
So he's actually from Texas.
Texas. Okay. So that to me is real. Okay, let's talk about that. I have people that work for me that live in Romania that are in Bali, right? Bali's 12 hours, it's basically 12 hours from the East Coast, of the United States. And I can work with him for a few hours a day. I don't want anybody working past midnight. That's completely unreasonable, right? So by my noon, it's midnight. It's like, dude, you got to go to bed. We can't do that. But I have found that the India time zone, which is like 10 and a half hours from the East Coast, is impossible. It's impossible. And the extra half an hour really just is mind numbing when you're trying to translate time back and forth. So I'm kind of curious, like, what local hours are you working in India to
So
support a team that's on the East Coast of the United States?
yeah, so I'm more of a night owl for a very really long time. So I start my work at afternoon to evening most of the time, and it's pretty much flexible work hours. So you don't have to have like you have to stay on call for a really long hours. So the another one thing is that the person that I work with, the senior developer, he is more of a morning bird. He'll be online by like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. So we do the syncing and the meetings and stuff throughout my evenings to night. So I get to stay on touch with them, and I get to clarify anything that needed for the next day and things like that, and pretty much work on it the next day
But
from
most
my
most days you're but most days you're sort of turning off the computer at what, 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Like you're working that late,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Sometimes it gets like 1 or 2. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right. Because something's going on. There's a situation, and you have to be there. And then, so then I have asked these questions to the guys that work with me too, and they don't mind the out. They like having the daytime to spend with their family or their kids, or to get
Exactly.
things done with no stress. And then it's sort of like they get online and they go to bed at midnight and it's all good, right? But I always felt like you can't go out on Friday night, right? Like Friday night is
Yeah.
your friends are telling you, let's go out. You're like, I got to work on Friday night. You can't go out till Saturday. You only get like that one day a week.
Yeah. So Fridays I get off pretty early than the usual days. So I
Mm.
get out at like 7 or 8. So
That's not bad. I think you're getting really lucky that the person you work with in the States starts so early in the morning. Because if they
yeah,
would start at
that's
that regular 8, 9 o'clock, it wouldn't, like, that's what I'm saying. It like
mm,
doesn't work.
yeah.
So that's sort of brilliant. You got lucky there. Wow. Are you still living at home? Like once you got this job, you're like, I'm out of here. I gotta get my own
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, well, yeah, I live in my hometown after completing my undergrad. So I'm still working remotely for my hometown for 4 years almost.
You didn't think about going to the big city? I mean, aren't there more? At some point, right? You're gonna want to take on another challenge. Like you've been there already for 4 years now, essentially, right? Started in 21, it's 25. You're going to be there for 4 years, which is a long time. And I know you're comfortable now with the tech, but at some point, everybody feels like they want a new challenge whenever that sort of happens. So you haven't thought about moving to the big city, moving to Bangalore or something, and
Yeah, I mean, if the right opportunity and the right job comes, I will definitely move out. But yeah, but I'm very comfortable with remote. I never been in an office environment, so I'm not sure how my productivity will be because I'm so used to being a night owl. So I start my work in the evenings, and it will be pretty hard to like get up at 8 a.m. and go there to the office at 9 and things like that. So yeah, even if I am looking for a job, pretty much I would go for more of an hybrid or remote rather than all day going to the office.
well, you could still move to the big city and have a remote job, right? But just have access
Yeah,
to, I mean, I wasn't necessarily suggesting that you'd have to go work in an office, but there's something valuable to being able to physically be in the same room with people at times. I don't think you have to do it 5 days a week, but have you ever been to the States? Have you traveled to Florida and met any, or Texas and met any of your
no,
team?
no, I haven't.
So after
Yeah.
4 years, they haven't even thought about flying you out, huh? But it would be nice if you could meet them, right? And eat some pizza and have a Coke or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
And where are the other engineers you're working with? So it's you in India, someone in Texas.
yeah. So they'll be in the they are in the US. They are in the US.
So
I'm
are
not
the
sure where they are.
Gotcha, gotcha. Have you ever thought about getting the visa and just coming to the U.S. even just
Yeah,
for
yeah.
for a
I
week or a
mean,
trip?
yeah, I would. The I would try to get a visa and yeah, visit them, but I wasn't. So the queues are pretty large here for the visa. So I'm kind of waiting on the visa processing time and things like that. But yeah, one day I would definitely want to visit my
Well, you
team.
could always just apply even if you don't use it, right? Like my 10
Yeah.
year visa for India is up this year. I don't think I'm going to apply for a new one because I have no reason to go. But that it was great to get that 10-year visa. Does the U.S. give you anything of that length?
10. Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah,
you
it's a
get the
10-year
10-year visa.
visa.
You should just apply for it so you have it, even if you're not necessarily going yet. Just so you have it, right? Especially if the queue is that long. All right, where would you go in the States? You just got your visa, Mystica. You just got it. Okay. Like, what do you want to see? What's the first thing you have to see in the States?
Yeah, I would say the New York City. So NYC has
Wow.
been, going to the NYC has been like a literally like a dream for me, like being on there just for a few days.
No,
Yeah,
no. Yeah, you could spend an entire week there. Is enough there. I was curious if you were going to say like San Francisco, Silicon Valley, but you went New York City, which I think is good. I think that was a good call for sure. Now you got to come down to Miami though, so I can,
yeah,
Allie
sure.
and I can show you around Miami because that's right. This is it's beautiful down here. But yeah, no, New York. I grew up just outside of New York City, so I sort of get. Now here's the funny thing. Have you ever been to London? Have you been outside of India yet?
No, I haven't. Yeah,
Okay, no, that's fair. Everybody who like grows up in New York City loves London, and everybody in
yeah,
London loves New York City. And I think
yeah.
it's
So
just the
those are my
novelty.
favorite cities. Yeah.
No, you got to go. I love London. Like if you told me New York City or London, I'd go London every single time. But
Mm,
maybe because the novelty of New York City's worn off, and I've been to London a ton of times, and the novelty never wears off. So I don't know. We got you need a visa for England too. Then yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it will be like a 6 months visa. Yeah.
So what are you waiting? Okay, Mister, that's it. This is the year. You're gonna get your visas. Okay, you're gonna take your PTO, and you're gonna go to London first and check out London. Then you're gonna fly over the pond, as they call it, right to New York, direct flight. Hang out there, come back. This is it. This is the year.
Yeah.
Okay, no more talking about it.
Yeah.
It's time to do it. All right, you're a professional software developer now for 5 years. It's time to do it. All right.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, Bill,
Yeah.
shut up. I ain't doing nothing.
No, no, not really. Yeah, I want to
But you're
visit
in your,
London this year or next year, probably. I want to visit soon.
but it's see, what you need to do is you're front end dev, right? Is there a conference related to to any of the technology that you're using right now?
Yeah, so I go to the conference and meetups here in India. So I work on Go stuff too. So I work on backend stuff too. So I do a lot of side projects,
On
and
Go.
Go is my preferred one.
I thought you said your backends were in Node. I didn't know you were a Go
Yeah,
developer.
so yeah, so outside of my year work, pretty much I do Go and Rust, those sort of things.
Have you gone to the Go India conference that it usually switches between
No,
Bangalore and Pune? All right, you gotta
I
go.
haven't. Yeah, I gotta go. Yeah, this year.
And then they have a Go conference in Berlin. I got Berlin to me is like London, Berlin. Like you got to experience those two cities. So, man, you got to go. You got to go to the. I mean, London has a Go conference too, but I think the Berlin one is like it's really my one of my favorites of all time. So next year, Mystica, we're gonna get you to go for Con EU. In fact, you're gonna. Have you ever given a talk at a meetup or a conference?
Yeah, so I give talks for the college students. So I do some workshops and stuff at a college for the college students. So yeah, but I want to talk at the conference. Yeah, within
So that's
next
the
year.
best way to get to the conference.
Yeah.
Then your
Mhm.
travel's paid, your room is paid, right? Like that's what you have to do. You gotta submit a talk. Yeah. So what topics do you sort of we're gonna plan a little bit here right now. Now, what topics can we talk about? Like, what's your favorite aspects of the Go programming language? Like, you like it better than Node, is what I'm hearing. So you wish you could rewrite that Node service in Go.
What I like about the Go stuff how to be with the concurrency primitives and the simplicity of the languages.
If anybody hasn't noticed, we're starting to have some technical issues with Mystica's internet, but we've got a full hour here of sort of learning about you. Now, at the very end, now I've finally learned that you're a Go developer. So I'm going to keep in touch with you because I want you to submit a talk. Maybe not this year, no stress, but going into next year, we got to have you submit a Go talk to a few of these conferences and get you on stage and sort of show off your talents and your knowledge. I think that would be really exciting. what I'm going to say to everybody is that if you have any questions related to the show and want to talk to Mystica, she's on X at Mystica INF. Hopefully, we'll be able to see her at some Go conference or get out there. It was a really, really awesome story. So this is the Ardan Labs podcast signing off, and Mystica and I hope to see everybody again real soon.